She said, Hola,
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Channel T, episode 22. I'm here with a very special guest. He is an e-commerce guru. He is your man for everything online, commerce-wise. He used to work at the company Ring, and he brought their Amazon sales from 14 million all the way up to 49 million. And
16 to 56.
16 to 56, dude. What the? And without further ado, I would like to introduce my really good friend, my brother, my business partner, Asad. Asad, dude. Welcome to the show, bro.
Dude,
Channel T, bro.
Thank you for having me on. I'm happy to be here.
No, man, I'm very excited for this episode because, one, this is going to be probably the most, like, real talk I've ever had with a guest because we're very comfortable with each other and we're not afraid to speak our minds. We actually have very deep intellectual conversations anytime we hang out.
All the time.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for coming on, bro.
Bro, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I love what you've done with the spot. This is dope. I'm, like, legit. I'm really proud of you.
Wow, bro.
The equipment, the sound engineer. Ali's a dope dude.
Shout out Ali. Give me the reggae horns, baby. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, bro, let's why don't you just give a little soft intro into, like, you know, who you are?
Sure. More than just build off what you said. Cool. So, yeah, my name is Asad. I'm 28. Live in Los Angeles. From the Bay. And
Bay Area.
And up until a couple months ago, I was working in corporate America, and now I'm doing my own thing. And I'm gonna take my whole crew with me, and we're gonna be sitting in millions in like a year.
Hell yeah, baby! Shout out corporate America. Shout out the corporate ladder. And by the way, we are smoking hookah. This is a Channel T first. You know, it's kind of just like customary. To, you know, enjoy a nice head with my boy.
Yeah, let's talk about how we've been smoking the same hookah for like 5 years now.
Yeah, this exact hookah actually took us through like at least 2 business ventures.
Yeah.
Deep moments. Took us through Vine. R.I.P. Vine.
It did take us through Vine.
We've actually made a Vine with the hookah.
Multiple ones.
And, bro, shout out all the hookah smoke. I hardly smoke hookah anymore, bro. Can you pass it, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
You've been hogging it, bro. Okay. So why don't you get into, like, exactly what e-commerce is for those of, you know, for people who... Because I feel, bro, genuinely, e-commerce has made its impact fairly recently. You know what I mean? It's always been around, but more people are getting, you know, familiar with the term e-commerce. So for those people who aren't aware, go ahead and, you know, give a soft, like, definition, you know?
Cool. Yeah, so e-commerce is anything... E-commerce is, you know, electronic commerce is everything related to online sales. It's been around for a long time, since the birth of the internet, once every company started going online to make sales. It's getting to a point now where it's expanding rapidly. A lot of it's because of Amazon. Shopify's getting up there. Walmart's jumping into the e-com game. So it's become easier year over year for anybody to jump in and start their own brand. It cuts out so much of the old school cost that people had. You know, if you had to buy 1,000 units of inventory in the 80s, you probably had to put up thousands of dollars, get a warehouse. You know, starting a business back then was like 40, 50 grand minimum. Now you could do it for $1,000. Started my brand in college for $1,000, carried me through my last year, paid off my tuition, everything like that, paid my rent. So yeah, e-com is basically online sales, whatever you're doing online. It's expanding like crazy. Nowadays, you know, people have stores, there's funnels. There's people have newsletters, they sell on their newsletter, affiliate marketing, all that kind of stuff. All of it kind of falls into e-commerce. It's basically people making money online.
Well, your answer kind of leads me to my next question. This is kind of deep, but you think about wealth, right? Back in the day, it was like kings, queens, knights, merchants. You know, they were really the only people with wealth, or like the people generating wealth, at least. You know what I mean?
Right.
To an extent, I'd say the people today involved in e-commerce are the merchants of our present. Like, you know what I mean? It's taking basically like really poor people into like the million category, you know what I mean? Like the 1%.
Yeah.
So in terms of wealth, how would you compare like, you know, e-commerce entrepreneurship to, you know, any other type of startup? Like, does it have its benefits? Does it have more benefits than, you know, someone who's like inventing something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a totally different game. If you're talking about inventors or innovators or anything like that, that's something different. Like, we still need that.
Oh no, for sure.
Right?
I'm more so saying like that was more so the entrepreneurship.
Oh, like back in the day.
You know?
Yeah,
like nowadays it's like anybody can make it off e-commerce. Like anyone can start an online shop.
Right.
You know, so like what's your take on that?
So anybody can start it, but the thing that you have to, the important thing that people kind of seem to overlook is anytime the barrier to entry has dropped significantly in the last 20 years for anyone who wants to start a business. And what that does is it makes it easier for anyone to do it, but stuff that's easy to start isn't always easy to excel in, right? Back in the day, it was just hard to do anything when it came to business, when it came to a physical product. Now it's easier to start, but the thing is that most people still don't finish. Now it's about finishing, or continuing the journey. But in the sense that I think what it's done is it's been a big equalizer in the world of commerce, just in general. A lot of international industries. It's been an equalizer because now you've got a kid making $200,000-300,000 grand a year sitting at home from his bedroom. That wasn't possible before. And one thing that I noticed was what this has done for the masses. It's proved how much wealth was being hoarded by the 1%, or like the people up at the top, rich families, generations, whatever. So now you're starting to see that, hey, you know what? There's definitely more money. Like, people could have been getting paid way more than they were getting paid for the last 40, 50, 60 years. You know, they capped. It's like, oh, average salary is 40, 50 grand. Companies, that was because they paid people what they could to live, and then all the wealth went up to the top and they just hoarded it. And now people are starting to realize, well, hey, you know what? Like, I can make more money doing my own thing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's a storm now, you know, like,
yeah.
You know, I've seen people start businesses with like those moon lamps and like,
yeah,
you know, very basic like products and excel, like, you know what I mean? So in the e-commerce realm, what's probably like the best, you know, not market, I guess? Like, what's the best market to infiltrate in terms of e-commerce? Is it like, you know, accessories? Is it electronics? Have you noticed a trend with any type of product?
So trends kind of come and go, you know, like a couple years ago when I first started on Amazon, the big thing was, there was these silicone barbecue gloves. I've seen so many people start selling those and just like quit their job. Like, those are job killers 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
If you got on it quick and you were like ahead of the game, you could do really well on Amazon. And back then you could also kind of manipulate. Amazon was less regulated than it is now. You could get a product, get it to the first page in like a couple days off like 200 bullshit reviews and start making a lot of money. But as far as like it's like the market's always changing. There's not going to be like one niche or something specific that's always going to be good to go in. People are going to find a niche, they're going to profit off of it, they're going to capitalize on it, and then if it gets really mainstream, a lot of people are going to jump on, and then the market's going to kind of equalize. So when it comes to finding a niche or a product, there's not something specific like, yo, this is what's coming up or anything like that with an e-com. If you want to be successful, you got to, you know, really, you got to look where nobody else is looking. If everybody's looking at Amazon bestsellers, which is what everybody was doing when I first started, then everyone, like, you've got 50 people who find the same product, and then it's like, all right, well, now I have 49 people to compete with in the same group that I'm in. So what I've been teaching people, what I've been saying is look for products you don't know exist, right? Or look for a product that, like, you probably have something in your house that you own that maybe 1 or 2 people that in your life also have.
Wow.
Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like, you can find that product, you buy it, you've bought it multiple times. There's probably something you could sell. Like, there's probably something you could think of a way to make like a better jewel or something like that. A lot of people have that, but there's probably something else like this knight that you've got right here, right?
Shout out Fernando, bro. He has a name.
Fernando.
He's the guardian of the studio.
Oh shit. There you go. How many people do you know selling that?
0.
Exactly. Right. But that's a market that, like, you bought it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's a market you could look at, get into. It's a higher cost, obviously. That's not something that is cheap to ship or anything like that.
Wow, bro, you're just bending my mind right now.
Yeah. So you got to kind of look at things like that. But as far as the trends and whatever else, like one thing that I have noticed is paid traffic became really, really big in the last like 6 years because Facebook was blowing up, and Facebook added like an entirely new platform for paid traffic. Before it was Google, right? Now Google's still there. Facebook came in, Amazon's got theirs, they're expanding it. But because there's so many ads everywhere, like Instagram has ads, everyone's running ads on Instagram, everyone's running Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever. What's going to happen now is we're going to see a shift back to organic traffic. And that comes from like free content. And you're seeing that with Twitch, seeing that with YouTube. People are going to start driving traffic and building brands that capitalize on organic traffic, because the market kind of shifts back and forth. You got to look at what's happening, and a lot of people want like long form, value filled content.
No doubt.
Yeah.
In terms of the whole advertisements, I've personally like promoted on Instagram. I mean, Instagram's linked to Facebook. Would you say like, whenever I see like e-commerce, well, the couple e-commerce people I do follow, they're always saying like, "Yo, this is spent 100,000 on Facebook on ads. What are you doing with your life?"
Yeah.
Is that like the main? Would that be the most beneficial source for advertising your product? What's the biggest success you've seen? Like, what platform have you seen the biggest success from when it comes to promotions or advertisements?
I mean, most of what I've done is on Amazon, so I know how to capitalize on Amazon really well. But in terms of, it's not like one platform. Facebook's different because Facebook created ads online that were much more creative based. So your creative's got to be really good.
So when you're doing it through Amazon, is the people on Amazon are seeing your promotions? Like if I'm surfing through Amazon, I'm gonna see your suggested product right there, or like how does it hit their email? Like
it does hit their email. So with email, it's a little bit different with Amazon. Amazon's sending emails out all the time. They've got an email database of probably close to 1 billion people.
Oh, for sure.
But as far as like me being a seller on Amazon, I would bid on terms. So if somebody goes and searches like hookah hose or something like that, green hookah hose, and I'm selling a green one or a blue one or whatever, I'm just selling a bunch of different colors, I would start bidding on those terms. And then in the search results, mine's going to come up. If I win the bid, I'll be on the top. It'll look like it's a normal listing, but it'll say sponsored. So it's a sponsored ad. I'm paying for that space, whereas somebody else organically got to that spot.
Yeah.
So with that, like, and that's how Amazon plays the game. Amazon's a little bit different, obviously, because it's a search engine that just it's a product search engine. People are there ready to buy it. With Facebook, you have to. I'm putting it in front of people who might not want it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I have to convince them to click. And then
like clickbait type.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to necessarily clickbait, because if people click thinking one thing and then they go to your website something else, they're not going to buy. But you pay for that traffic, so you're just losing money. So as far as like promotions and everything like that, or like running ads and whatnot, like people who say like, "Oh, I've spent 100,000 on," it's like, that's great. Cool. You probably learned a bunch of stuff, but you got to you have to discern like who's spending money and actually making money. You have 100,000 that you spent on Facebook ads, and your sales are 110,000. You made no money.
Yeah. Well, technically you made 10K.
You made 10K.
Which is nothing.
But then you factor in like product cost. So it's like, did you really make 10K? How much are you going to have after you pay taxes?
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So like you got to think about it like that. But that's where, like, as far as promotion or whatever, it depends on what you're selling. It depends on what your product is, whatever you're trying to put out there. For your podcast, you could promote it and like get more people interested and whatnot through Facebook and Instagram and all that. But yours is more like organic traffic, right? Like you build the brand of Channel T. Like you got your Instagram going now. You keep posting this content. You get bigger and bigger people on. They promote it, and then you get those followers in. Like Joe Rogan's podcast is super. Like everybody loves it. He's a great interviewer. It's like he also has that celebrity because he's been doing.
I'm a great interviewer, bro.
All right, relax. We'll see. We just started the interview. I'm just kidding. But Joe Rogan was a comedian, does a bunch of stuff with MMA and all that kind of shit. People know who he is, so a lot of people go to his Joe Rogan Experience or whatever it is. And that's what you're going to have to do. You keep building a name for yourself in the podcast with Channel T. You build up all that organic traffic, and then you aren't somebody that's going to necessarily need to run ads. You're looking at me really weird right now.
I'm a great interviewer, bro.
This always happens.
Why do you have to say that kind of shit to his fucking face?
I just wanted to interview him, bro.
In the middle of a fucking podcast?
I know, dude. I'm sorry.
You're gonna be good, bro. You're gonna be good. Hey,
I'm sorry. You're right.
be strong.
Great interviews don't cry, bro. Anyway, bro. So you have webinars.
I do.
You take the time out of your day. Sorry, bro. These are real tears.
I know. I didn't realize you'd get that upset. We should put some more coals on, by the way.
I'm not gonna put more clothes on. I'm not gonna burn my left arm hairs. But you do these webinars, and you basically teach people how to make money through Amazon, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Where can people find these webinars? How much does it cost? What are you offering through, your service?
So the webinars are always free.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what I do is every couple weeks, I get questions on Twitter all the time. Twitter is my main platform for growth, and people hit me up in the DMs or just at tweets. They want to know, they'll ask questions about Amazon, and I'll make a list of the most common questions. I have a doc where I'll just fill it in there and see how many times I got asked something. And then what I'll do is, I've only done 2 webinars so far. I did one today. I did one 2 months ago. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna probably make it a monthly thing. But what I do is source all these questions that are coming in. Stuff that is not on Google. If someone asks me something they can Google, I just ignore it because
don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, go to Google. But what I'll do is I'll take all those questions, I'll see which ones are coming up the most, and then I'll build a webinar out based on a template that I have, and then I'll answer those questions in the webinar, and I'll post it online, get people to sign up and everything like that. Then I go live, people jump in, I'll talk to them, I'll go through everything on the webinar, answer their questions, and give them whatever value I can through that.
Dude, that's beautiful. What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is at Amazon FBA Guy.
And FBA, what does that stand for?
FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. So Amazon handles the logistics for you.
I love your Twitter.
Thanks.
I personally follow you. And he follows me back. Dude, the Twitter atmosphere, the realm of these e-commerce guys is probably my favorite community to be involved in, because not only is it about e-commerce, it also entails it's mainly dudes, so
it's a sausage fest.
Yeah, it's always about the alpha versus the alpha beta crap and so dude, thank you for giving us great content. Make sure you follow him, Amazon FBA Guy.
That's what I'm here for.
Who are some people you're inspired by on Twitter, or because obviously you didn't have a Twitter for that long, or you didn't start posting this.
Yeah. So I've had my Twitter for 10 years, but I didn't really get into it until last August.
Yeah, and you've grown literally from hundreds of followers to 10,000.
Yeah, I'm 400 away from 10,000.
Yeah,
right
that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Who kind of got you to push on your Twitter account?
I think so. It was random. It was random that I was just on Twitter. Most of early last year, I was just kind of goofing off. I've always been in social media and using it from time to time, but it was funny because all the homies were using Twitter again, or I met a bunch of people who were also using Twitter, so I hopped on, started messing around and having fun. It was homie shit. And then there's the first tweet was the first one that got me was somebody retweeted Ed Lattimore, who's a boxer. He's pretty big in that space. He's kind of one of the biggest ones in that space. So I followed Ed, and then from following Ed, I started to find all these other people that were, in that community and everything like that, expanding to guys like Nate Schmidt, Scotty, who used to be James Holt, Alexander Cortez, all these kind of guys. And then from there, it was funny. There was last summer, I was watching all these guys, and it's I had this dissonance of what I was capable of and what they were doing. And then I bought a chorus from this guy who ended up being a scammer, as we found out recently. Not going to mention his name because fuck him.
Not going to mention his name, but we know who you are, you scammer! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I'm supposed to be... I've been getting so much heat for yelling and cursing.
For cursing too? I was going to ask if we could curse on the podcast.
No, you're more than welcome to curse.
Yeah.
I personally am building a brand that is going to be professional, so I'm trying to tone it down. So sorry that I let that one out, but I don't have time for we've been scammed, bro.
Yeah, we got scammed.
We scammed.
Straight up got scammed, and it was disappointing. I felt personally responsible for that, but I bought this guy's course last summer and I watched it, and it was $100. It was $100. So I was let me see if what's going on. And excuse me, I watched it. It was an hour-long webinar And I was shook. I was like, this is not. I can't believe this guy's selling this. I was like, I know more than he does. You know. And I just had.
And that fueled the fire.
Oh yeah, and then like literally, as soon as I finished his course, it was like September. No, it was like August, I think. I sat down and made the outline for my course on the spot because I was like, this is crap. And so I started working on that, and then I started tweeting and talking to people, and I was like, I'm just going to grow my thing. And nobody was talking about Amazon. And for the first, I'd say up until like 2 months ago, everybody was just talking crap. In that little Twitter sphere that I'm on, most people were just like, hey, like, fuck Amazon. Because they're all about dropshipping and whatever else. So that led to me, you know, making my course, working on it. I finished it at the end of the year, and then I launched it. And from there, it's kind of just like I've grown quite a bit. I've made really good contacts with these people. I was, you know, featured on a couple podcasts, Zuby, Chance Lunsford. There's like 1 or 2 other ones. But yeah, I established myself as the kind of like the Amazon authority because nobody else was doing it. And it started with guys like Ed, and I think like Nate and Scotty were pretty good in terms of like they were the ones that really made me think like, all right, I could build a personal brand too. And it was something I always wanted to do, like not necessarily be internet famous, but I was just
Provide.
Yeah.
I respect it, and I'm a fan, bro. I genuinely support you, and even though. Well, you're helping me with my Shopify account, which we'll get into in a bit. Yeah. But I personally feel kind of like the way I feel the, you know, the benefit of following you. You know what I mean? And you have genuine fans. I mean, every time you even mention me, bro, like hundreds of people reply. Like, it's beautiful, bro. You've definitely made an impact in that community. You've been invited to podcasts. You've been invited to sit down with people who are on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. Shout out Hotep Jesus, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's really cool. Like you're definitely taking advantage of your network.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I'm doing here on Channel T. I'm taking advantage of you right now. So that's my next question, actually. Let me pass you this.
Sure.
Let's say I'm a business owner. I already have an online business presence. What's something you can like? What's the recommendation in terms of like? What shop I should use, or like, you know, let's say I'm a clothing brand, or maybe let's do me, Channel T. Like I'm gonna sell my merch online, right? Like where should I start? What avenues should I look to for, you know, selling my merch? What's the prescription?
So I would say, I mean, we're gonna set you up on Shopify because I'm familiar with Shopify. I have a great theme for you to use, and Shopify has a lot of integrations. It's kind of the main one, right? Like it's the main platform everybody knows about. There's a bunch of other ones. There's like, I think WooCommerce and BigCommerce and
Squarespace
and all these other guys. And they're all great, but Shopify is very, I'm familiar with Shopify. I'm comfortable with it. It's kind of the easiest one to use. There's also one called Magento, but that's open source. You need a coder for that. So, you know, most people that are starting out, Shopify is the easiest way to go. It's very easy. It's very user friendly. It's very intuitive. There's a lot of integrations you can use. Like for yours, we're going to do print on demand for your merch. So you don't have to buy 500 shirts up front and then sell them. You know, you just connect it through Printful. And then every time somebody buys it, they handle it. And you just get the money in between. So I would say for most people starting out, Shopify is the way to go. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. And then from there, it comes down to, like, as far as scaling and everything else, that's specific to the business, what you're doing, how you're doing it. For yours, you know, you're going to get all this traffic through social. That's where everything lives for you. It's all on social. And as you continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, you push, traffic.
Drive all the traffic.
Yeah. And so it becomes, channelt.com, whatever it is that you get. It's going to be your
channelt.org is actually the domain I got.
.org. That's going to be your home base on the internet. So it's going to get to a point eventually where the traffic's going to feed off of each other. So people are going to know you from social. They're going to go to your website. They're going to see like all the recordings are going to be on there, your YouTube channel, whatever it is. And then you're going to just kind of use it as like a...
the home base.
Yeah, and it's like a positive feedback loop. And then from there, once you get ready to expand, you start talking to other people who are doing... Like you go on bigger podcasts, and then you talk about your podcast. Or you start talking to, like you're doing like Summer Giving here in Santa Ana. People are going to hear about that. They're going to know who you are. They're going to start following you from there. So I don't want to call it PR, but it's a matter of like connecting with the right people, other people who are doing the same thing you're doing, people that you can collaborate with, just doing something cool.
Community-based networking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also just doing something like you want to stand out, you want to do something bigger, right? So you have to do something like you got to, you can grow just doing podcasts, but if you really want to have rapid growth and grow exponentially, you got to do something that's not conventional. right? Conventional shit.
I gotta
just gets
strip
you,
naked.
probably, maybe not, but
Yeah, there's too much hair anyway. Like,
you can't see anything. Just
Yeah.
like a forest. But you could. I mean, I don't know what it is, but you could start doing something else. Like you have the promo videos, which are really good, right? People, they're really funny, they're engaging, they're captivating.
my man.
Yeah. So you keep doing stuff like that. I don't know how many other people are doing stuff like that. How many other podcasts at your level, they're probably not doing it, right? But as you get better at that, you start to put more production value into it. You make something really cool. You get bigger people on there.
Bro, I'm so happy this is recorded
Yeah.
because this is great. This is great advice. Dude, thank you.
Yeah. Of course.
You obviously know your stuff. You obviously, have a following that agrees with me. What's next for you, bro? Do you see yourself, advancing through e-commerce? Do you see yourself getting involved in different industries? What's your goal?
So right now, as far as like e-com's concerned,
Here, bro, hold on.
trying to just get it working right. Oh, how did that happen? Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is live.
And then
No.
Alright, now you can yank that shit. Wait.
There we go. Here, you should take that before you sit down. So next steps for me. So I'm gonna keep putting a lot of work into Twitter. I'm enjoying Twitter quite a bit. Twitter's a very fun platform now that I know how to grow on it. So I'm gonna keep building the personal brand. I'm not gonna move away from Amazon. I'm still gonna talk about Amazon and e-commerce. But the other thing that we didn't touch base on is that I talk a lot about personal development on Twitter as well. So it's not just Amazon. It's like, bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Being an alpha. No soys in this building.
Yeah. Don't be a soul boy.
Bro, shout out all the people who think being soy is cool. Because they obviously have a very strong-willed mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being an alpha is hard nowadays because there's not many alphas out there. You stand out and you're just like, dude, I'm surrounded by soy boys.
Yeah. It's kind of a pain.
What's a soy boy?
A bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, soy boy basically references the fact that you're programmed by your environment and you have no self-awareness. Everything you know is
You're kind of a drone.
force fed to you. Yeah,
You're a drone. You just believe what's on the news, what's on the media. You believe,
Dude, Wall Street Journal said that yeah.
So if I Google soy boy and I go on images, what am I gonna see?
Probably a bunch of weak.
Let's do it. Google image soy boy.
Yeah.
Throw it on the broadcast. Let's see what pops up.
Let's see.
And
could be
my
bad.
bet is gonna be just hilarious memes.
Probably.
Dude, let's talk about this alpha stuff. Let's talk about this growth. Let's
Sure.
talk about self-development.
Let's do it.
For me personally, I've definitely joined the no fap game.
Let's
See how long it's been, actually. I stopped on December 18th, 2016.
Wow.
I have a counter. It has been 931 days since I've stopped fapping.
Wow.
That's almost 3 years.
That's nuts, man.
Yes, sir. And I've never felt better. My testicles are enlarged. I get definite stares, and I get more attention from women because my pheromones are more natural than these soy boys who are depleting their energy source.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, man. It definitely encourages you to be a man. You're not being programmed by pornography.
You're not a slave to this very primal urge.
My next point was going to be, you're not fucking your hand like a monkey does.
Exactly. I don't even think monkeys do that.
It's just unnecessary.
No, exactly. But
I've also been a fan of, people say it's a myth, but the cold showers.
Cold showers are great.
They're beautiful,
Cold
bro.
showers are, everyone should take a cold shower.
Bro, the hottest I'll go is like barely halfway on the shower meter.
That's not bad. That's like room temperature.
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
I've stopped feeding into negative relationships. If someone's dragging you down, if there's a relationship you have that's not benefiting you, just cut it out.
Yeah.
What do you prescribe people, bro? What's your basis for self-improvement?
There's a quote. It's like a pretty common quote. It's like a little platitude all over Instagram, Twitter, whatever. But it's basically that anyone who makes a better life for themselves starts with the idea that they're not happy with where they are, and they know that the future can be better than the present. And that's basically what it is.
Visualization.
Yeah. And it's also just this idea that you look around at your life and you think, well, how do I feel right now? Do I feel good? Am I happy? Am I having a good time? Do I enjoy myself? Am I satisfied with my life, with my relationships, with my finances, with my spirituality? And if you're not, then you got to take the steps to make it better. But you can't take the same steps that led you to the position you're in now and expect those to get you anywhere else. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And if you're not happy with that, then you think, okay, well, I got to change something. And that's what it was for me. And a big thing about that is, I think most people don't realize that you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick.
Wow.
And people think, well, I'm going to get better by like doing this and that. And it's like, you know what? Part of that environment is your friends and your family and the people you talk to every day and your coworkers and the people you interact with. And it's not always easy to just cut somebody out. You know someone for like 5, 6, 7, 10 years and they become toxic. It's tough to just be like, yo, I'm out. But you can distance yourself. You're right.
Test the waters and all that.
Exactly. And you gotta, if you want to be real with someone, like that's the first step. If someone's really that toxic, you could sit down and just, as a homie, you don't want to just leave a homie hanging or anything like that, or like even family members. And you got to talk like, yo, this is how, like, you behave this way and it affects me like this. And I know for a fact it's not good for me. So how's it going to be good for you? You're the one generating these feelings and these thoughts and these vibrations. So it's like, you kind of point that out to people, and if they're willing to work on it, great. And if they don't, and it's just a constant if it's just constant negativity and you don't feel good, then you got to make that tough decision, like, yo, I can't keep doing this.
You've actually came a long way. I respect you. You've lost a lot of weight, started taking care of yourself mentally and physically, like your grooming, all that stuff, bro. And you've made something for yourself. Like, you moved out to downtown LA. Beautiful apartment, beautiful everything. So if you're gonna take any advice, take it from this guy, because he knows what he's doing, like 100%. Bro, what's kind of like your inspiration for, like, what's your motivation? Is it like owning your own time, like everything you do, like for me, right? My personal growth obviously is related to like what I visualize for myself.
Right.
What do you kind of like stick on your wall? Like, what do you look at every day that kind of keeps you going? Because it's hard, bro. I mean, getting yourself in, breaking all those bad habits and developing new patterns for yourself, like, it's hard.
No, it's never easy. Like, there's beauty in struggle, and you don't notice when you're in it, but you notice you find yourself on the other side of it. You struggle through something, something that's tough, something that's challenging, and then you find yourself on the other side and you realize, like, well, it's like waking up for the first time. And for me, I grew up in a way where I thought everything was very black and white. So I just thought, like, I'm not, it's like, I didn't think I was good looking at all. I thought I was like ugly. I was like, I get friend zoned all the time because I'm fucking ugly as shit. That's legitimately the pattern I had running in my head nonstop all the time or whatever. But there was always some part of me that wanted more. I don't know where it came from. It's weird. Like, I've talked to my brother about this and he's always had it too, but like not so much. I feel like my parents don't really have it as much, but me and all my siblings were kind of just like, what's next? What else is up there? What else can we make of life? And I think so much of it was we were held back from doing so much. that we kind of always just ended up wanting more. But it was tough to want more because I was in a position where I didn't think I could have more. You know what I mean? So it's like you're watching all this stuff, like you're sitting in the dirt looking up at the clouds, and there's people on like ascending to the clouds. They have these amazing lives, and you think, well, why don't I have that? And I kept asking that like myself that question, and even when I didn't believe it at all, I just kind of would take different steps to like push myself and keep at it. And I kind of, I sought out mentors through books. I read a lot of books, read a lot of personal development, and then I started putting in the work. I put in the work like years after I actually read all this shit. But I'm glad that I did. I'm here now. I'd rather have that than to just never have gotten better.
No doubt. I touched on this with a couple of my guests. You even touched on it. The beauty and the struggle part kind of ties into being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in a position of uncomfort really sets the bar high for like what type of gain you can get from that position.
Yeah.
You're not gonna gain anything from being comfortable, from feeling secure, from all this stuff. You put yourself out there, and you definitely reap benefits, whatever it may be, whether it's slow, whether it's fast. When would you say you started making yourself uncomfortable? Like, was it during college, after college?
There was a little bit in college. There was definitely, quite a bit when I was in college. And then after college, I got a job and I got comfortable again. And a lot of it just seemed overwhelming. I had student loans. My parents were, that was a very rocky time in my relationship with my dad. And it was just becoming too much. But I gave up. I kind of found an escape. 2017, I think I went to like 40 different festivals. I started doing a bunch of drugs. And close to the end of 2017, I went through some really tough situation with somebody, and I got to a point where I was just literally in bed. Like I spent I don't know how many days in bed, just laying there. I didn't want to move, didn't want to do anything.
Wow.
And I realized that it was two of my friends who didn't want to talk to me anymore, and the way they went about it was really messed up. But in that moment, like October 2017, I still remember laying in bed, and I was just thinking, like, you know what? That's when I was like at my peak. I was like 250 pounds, and I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm freaking out right now because these two homies were showing me a lot of love for a long time, and now things played out the way that they did, and now I'm freaking out because I feel like there's no love in my life. And that's when it really hit me and really internalized. I was like, I need to show myself that love.
Wow.
And so I started thinking about, what do I want to do? Because up until that point, I was kind of running on autopilot. Every time there was a show, I'd be there. Every time there was a festival, I'd be there. I was running on like little to no money. I was in massive amounts of debt. So I kind of sat down and thought, like, what do I want? What do I really really want? And the first thing that came to mind was like, I don't want to be fat anymore. And the crazy thing is, I was probably overweight for like 3 or 4 years, and I knew that wasn't me. I was always athletic growing up. I was always kind of like relatively skinny, relatively slim. And so I never felt like it was me. And that's a really weird thing to be like, for 4 years to not feel like this is the real me. It's very like, it's strange.
That's tough too.
Yeah. And so the whole thing about like suffering, like beauty and suffering, is you can like, not all of life, but like life is suffering. There's a lot of suffering that happens in life. Everyone has it. And the thing is that you can choose how you suffer, or you can let the world choose it for you. And the world's not going to be kind at all. The universe does not care about your feelings. It doesn't care about anything. You could die tomorrow, and time doesn't stop. So that was one important thing that I realized. I could choose how I suffer. I could choose to proactively suffer in the moment in a positive manner, and that'll set me up to be in a much better position later on.
Wow.
And I think that one of the most important things, kind of touching base on like the whole alpha, whatever. I don't consider myself that or say that. I feel like people that are alpha role models don't call themselves that.
Oh, no doubt.
And so one big thing is I chose my suffering in the gym. I told myself I'm going to wake up every single day at 6. I don't care what time I went to bed. I had to be at the gym every single day. And it worked for a couple months, but I eventually hit burnout because I was getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. But I was going to the gym every single day. I was forcing myself to work out. I was lifting heavier and heavier weights. I was running longer. It didn't matter how I felt. If I was tired, I was whatever. It was like I told myself, like, you need to sit here. You're not getting an out. You don't get a free pass. You got to finish the workout. And that suffering made it possible for me to, grow as a person so much. I got to I lost like 45, 50 pounds in like 3 months. And then that gave me the, like no physical change.
Let's get the reggae horn for that real quick, bro. Shout out to, bro, that's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
That's not something we could just pass by. Shout out Asad, bro.
Thank you. And the thing is that over time I learned that like no physical change manifests without a mental change as well. If you change yourself physically, you're gonna have a mental change because you're rewiring all your synapses and your thought patterns and everything like that. So when it comes to the suffering, it's like you put yourself in those positions and then you realize in the moment when you keep pushing, when every single part of your body and your brain is saying, all right, it's time to quit, it's time to stop, like, all right, like I benched 150 10 times, I'm tired. It's like, no, you got another set. Get back on the fucking bench and do another set.
Rip those muscles.
Yeah, exactly. That's like when you're if you're shy or you're socially awkward and you're at a party and you're not talking to people and you're like, well, I'm just gonna leave. It's like, no, I'm gonna no, you gotta stay, motherfucker. You gotta stay and go talk to
get off
people.
The wall. Go
talk to somebody.
Exactly.
Go do what you're afraid to do. Like, oh, this girl, like, this girl's really hot. I can't. She's not gonna say. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut up. She doesn't have to say yes. The outcome doesn't matter.
It's the fact that you did it that counts.
You got to go and do it. It's all about the process. And
exactly.
People, and that's a big thing too. I always was very outcome dependent. And then I started all you can ever do is focus on the process.
Beautiful, bro. I've always looked at you as like one of my older brothers. And this is the type of advice I get all the time. And you know what sucks is, bro, like people don't, I feel like people love you so much online because they don't have role models or like peers who can offer them this type of advice or conversation. So get up in the let me quote Michael Jackson, get up off the wall.
Get off the wall.
Get off the wall.
Get off the wall, get out of bed, remind yourself every day that you're gonna die. That's some real shit.
Bro, do you know that guy? I forgot his name.
Jesse Eitzler.
Dude, he basically calculated that like the average lifespan in like this era is like 75 or something, or 70 years old. And he wrote down, on his palm every day, he changes the number. He basically writes down how many days he has left until he reaches that age. Yeah. And it's just a constant reminder, bro, like this is how long your time isn't promised, so like, yeah, it's just a countdown, bro.
That's actually another interesting thing. So one thing that, and this kind of messed me up for a while, but when I was, so we're my parents are very Orthodox religious Muslims, so I was always like the concept of heaven and the afterlife, it was always there. But growing up, I was raised in a way where like very restrictive environment, like it was like almost impossible to get to heaven. It was always just like, oh, we're such bad, we're like humans, we're sinners, and this and that. So it was like it was so difficult. It was like, why should I even do anything? Because it felt like I'm never gonna make it. It's like you can be the best person in the world, you're gonna miss heaven by like inches. So I'm like, why would you miss it by like miss just go balls to the wall? That's how I felt for a long time, but I was still very scared to do anything. And then what made things even worse was the winter of 2008, we were driving to the East Coast to visit family, and my mom got a call, and my mom, like, I was sitting in the back seat, and I heard her, and she sounded really upset, and I was like freaking out right away, like I don't know what's going on. And then she didn't say anything. We're gone for a couple weeks. We come back, and my dad just sits me and my brother down. He was like, hey, my brother's friend Wakas, who I knew growing up too, my dad's like, yo, he went to Pakistan to get married. And then he came back, handled all the paperwork for his wife. He went back to get his wife, and he was crossing the street, and he got hit by a car. And my dad was like, I don't think he made it. Like kind of like trying to soften the blow. And immediately I hopped on like my computer and I started messaging all my friends. I'm like, yo, is he okay? Do you know what's going on? And my friend was like, bro, he died like 3 hours after the car accident. My parents didn't tell us because we were going to visit family and didn't want to, And that was the first like really crazy, intense kind of like, somebody I grew up with died. And then a couple months after that, my uncle in Pakistan died. And he was much older, but it was like just some stupid shit. The doctors fucked up. He died. 2010, my homie Steven passed away. Motorcycle accident. not even a motorcycle, just like really weird, like, you know, but like Steven, like it was like Waqas and then my uncle and then Steven and then this other kid from high school passed away and then my homie Tommy died and then this girl Jamie that I knew from high school died in a car, like a skydiving accident. And then last December Josh passed away, and all that shit fucked me up. Like I was constantly thinking about death all the time and just like the reality of like, but it scared me. It scared me to the point where like I stopped doing, like I didn't leave the house after I got the news about Steven. Like I would not leave the house. I would be paranoid anytime someone else left, and I'd call them, like, are you you know, like I'd call my mom, like, are you at the store now? I had horrible sleep. It was just crazy, and that's been a big part of like the motivation or whatever for me. And it's like, you know what, like once you really understand how limited time is. Like I was talking to Josh 2 nights before he passed. He texted me the night that he passed, and the next morning he was gone. I saw that text and I was like, I'll respond to it later. I never got a chance to respond.
Bro, it's insane. I mean, it's unavoidable, but it really changes you, bro. Yeah. Like my best friend, like someone I've called a brother, dude, he OD'd on Xanax. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, right. out of all the help we gave him, after you know the countless times we've tried to help, it's like, you know, it truly is unavoidable. And what I've taken away from death is that your time here isn't promised, bro. And what are you doing now that's one gonna guarantee your like your legacy in a like a what are you doing now that's gonna guarantee that your legacy was positive? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to die and like, oh, there was methamphetamine in his system. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna that just automatically like denounces all your everything good you've done in your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the second part is more so like, when I die, what are people going to take away from my life? Like you've taken away from your friends' lives who've passed away. Like everything everything they've taught you, all the experiences and memories you've had. You know, so dude, it's unavoidable, bro. And that's the beauty of it. It's like it really, at least for me, it inspired me to be the best person I can be. And then it's sad, it's depressing, but when they pass on, do you think they want to look back, like look down and see you all mopey and depressed and sad? No way, bro. Yeah. They want you to do everything that they couldn't do, or they want to see you do everything that you told them you were gonna do. You know what I mean? That's what I've taken away from it. And as an entrepreneur too, like it's definitely the fuel to my fire. Like I want to do everything that me and my boy said we were going to do together. Yeah. I want to do everything that we visualized together, you know? And even when it comes to like our parents, bro, like as we get older, you see the mortality in them, and it's insane. Yeah. It's mind blowing, bro, you know? And there's no point in being mopey and depressed. Of course it's sad. Of course it's like something very, very, very truly depressing. But, you know, it has like, subhanAllah, man, like Allah puts wisdom in everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it really is what you take from it. Like,
yeah, 100%. It's so much like, it's a very depressing thought. The reality of it. And it's weird because I've had these thoughts since I was a little kid. Like I remember being like 7-8 years old in Canada. Like I still remember this very vivid moment where I got dropped off at the bus stop. I was waiting for the bus, and I don't know why, but I had this thought in my head like, oh, my parents aren't going to be here forever. Like just the reality of it. I don't know why I was thinking these things, but it was just there. And I would just tell my like, no, they're going to be around forever. Like I would just try to like jump out of it. Like I don't want to think about this. And it's something that's kind of, I've really internalized it recently and kind of moved away. Because I realized I couldn't keep living my life the way I was living it. Like this scared, terrified, like...
Dude, my mom hit me with something like that just yesterday. Yeah. I was playing like my military simulation. I'm not a part of Al-Qaeda. But, and my dad was going to go shopping. And she's like, are you going to go shopping with your dad? Yeah. I'm like, and she's like, you can play your game whenever you want. But your time with your dad is limited.
Right.
And I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's
damn it, Mom.
It's crazy because
I'll go with him.
Yeah, but it's like you got to do it in a positive. Like you have to do it in a positive way.
Yeah, not out of spite. Right.
Yeah, not out of spite, not out of guilt or anything like that. And the thing, like, there's a quote that I read that's really, I didn't understand it until recently, but it said, "Death smiles at us every day. All we can do is smile back." And it's kind of a trip, and it's just this whole thing of like, when you really look at life and like the impermanence of life, nothing lasts forever.
Nothing, bro.
Nothing. Like literally nothing. Like 100 years from now, we're all gonna be gone. This studio, someone else is gonna be in the studio. This building might not be here. Hopefully, this thing's still ripping.
Yeah, bro.
The hookah. Hopefully, you know. But when you just think about that reality, it's like you don't have any. You don't know what's gonna happen or anything like that. So it's like you live each moment, like you live immediately. Stop being so fucking passive all the time. Like, get the fuck out of bed in the morning. Like, you wake up and you're like, I'm tired.
Take that cold shower.
Yeah, take the fucking cold. Like, you know, like you wake up and like I tweeted this shit a while ago. Like I was like, yo, I was like, you're gonna die someday. Get the fuck out of bed. And people were like, yo, like, you know, like the homie Dylan, he was like, yo, this got me out of bed. And it's because people don't really think about that. They just kind of take it as like, I'm coasting, I'm having fun, I'm doing this and that. It's like, oh, I could just put this off until later. I could put this off until whatever. And it's just like, you know, like you're not here forever. Do you really want to be the guy that goes to work, comes home, does the same shit? You should put some more on.
Bro, I'm literally gonna burn.
You're fine,
dude. I swear, this whole seat was hot when I sat down here.
But yeah, that's like a big thing that people need to understand. That I hope more people understand.
Bro, thank you, bro, for the wisdom.
Yeah.
Let's give some wisdom to Instagram.
Let's do it.
Let's do our Q&A. Are you down?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Bro, that was beautiful.
I'll shoot the link out. Right?
Yeah. I will. So I'm gonna go live, and then it's gonna be like, yo, Tia Buzi's live. You join it, and then like you request to. You got to request to be live with your boy. And apparently there's a delay last time, so. And we live. So go ahead, hit that. We're telling your followers that you've started a live video. Yeah, put your volume all the way down, by the way.
All right.
Oh, sick. We can actually mute it on the 13, on the XS Max. Hey, my boys. Okay, now you got a request to join. Hey.
Oh, you got some people on.
Hey, my boy Corey.
Am I part of it?
Now we're going live. Make sure your volume's all the way low.
Yeah, it's done.
And it's connecting, waiting for you. Oh, volume all the way low. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hold on.
God bless America. What's up, babies? Hey, TJ, my guy. Yo, so I'm sitting here with the man. Yo, all my guys joining right now. I'm sitting here with no other than Mr. Asad, the e-commerce guru. Bro, don't look at me. Look at me through the phone, bro.
Okay.
No, you can look at me. I'm just kidding. Dude, shoot us with some questions you guys have. Like if you have your own online store, if you want to start one, take advantage of this moment because time is money. And this is free. So let's make it worth my boy's time.
Let's do it.
So
my dog keep grinding.
We can keep shout out Faddy.
Oh, Faddy's on. This is gonna be fun.
Questions, guys, come on.
Your camera's so close to your face.
Questions. Hit us with them questions. There's Fernando. Shout out me and Fernando, dang. Hit us with the questions, y'all.
Feddy's waving. What's up, Feddy? How about that earthquake?
Oh, the earthquake was insane, guys. Right before we started recording, that earthquake hit, and we're in a building that was built in the 1920s. And we literally almost died. we died mentally, and we had to run out the building like scaredy cats. Okay, wow, what a beautiful question by Mr. Corey. By the way, who was my best friend in elementary school, who I recently reunited with. Shout out my boy Corey.
Dope.
What's the key component to running an online business?
The key component, like one key component.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of business you're running. No. I would say it's really important for you to know why you're doing it. More than anything else. I know it's kind of like people say that about everything, but it's like, why do you want to run an online business? Do you really, like, ask yourself that first.
What's the drive?
Do you want to run an online business? Do you want to actually, like, what do you got to really get clear on your why, whether that's with online or whatever it is. But one major component, if you are going to do something online, is go and learn from the people who've done it before you. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't go through and say, like, I'm going to figure all this out for myself. No, there's people who've done probably what you're trying to do. So why don't you go and find someone who's done something similar, emulate them, see if they'll coach you, see if they'll teach you. And, you know, you can skip a lot of the early steps and mistakes by seeing what other people have done. And then you get to a point where you're in uncharted territory, and then you kind of get creative from there. So
find a template.
Yeah.
Find out what you're looking out of. What figure out what you want out of the online business and capitalize on it. Is it you know, obviously money, you know.
Yeah.
But is it like you want to build a client base? Is it like a one-time sale? You know,
do you want to make a product? You trying to do a service-based business? Like, most important, like, so much of it is why are you doing what you're doing? If you're trying to run a business, but if that is what you decide you want to do as far as e-com's concerned, you know, be organized, find people who've been successful, not channel them, emulate them, kind of model what you're doing after what they're doing. And I get, actually, you know what, beyond that, I'd say the most important thing is having grit. Like, be willing to eat shit, you know, and like, you got to know that you're going to hit a wall. What the fuck happens after you hit the wall? Do you quit? Or do you get up and find a way around it? Or do you break through it? That's what
perseverance, bro.
Yeah.
We have another question. What's your go-to pickup line?
Oh, man.
I'll say mine.
Go for it.
Be like, this one works all the time, actually. It's just, hey, what's your name? Oh my gosh, my name's Denise. I've been working at Pinkberry my whole life. So, oh, great. Denise, that's awesome. And then you just get her number, and that's it.
Yeah.
You just get, when it comes to the girls, confidence is key.
That's solid. You
the
could
pickup line,
you could say whatever you want.
The pickup line's supplemental.
Yeah.
Like, you can make them laugh, but if you're a funny dude, you don't really need to worry about, you're going to make them laugh through conversation. Like, you know what I mean?
Just walk up
Key
and
point.
say what.
Walk up and say something.
Just walk up and say what's up.
Even if it's bad, she's going to be like, and then you just bounce up. You just bounce back.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no, like, you're not harassing her.
I will say, yeah, like, your energy's got to be right. If you guys don't know this yet, you should know by now that women pick up on energy fast. Like, guys don't vibe. Like, guys will take a minute. They'll like talk to someone for like 30 minutes and be like, this guy's kind of weird. I don't know if I want to keep hanging out with this dude. Like, you're walking up to a girl and it's like, she knows right away. She's just like, you know. But if you're cool, you can't control, like, you can't manipulate your energy. If you're like that goes back to like the nofap.
Or even
there's multiple women, like multiple girls I've talked to, and they're just like, they can kind of tell when you're like this sleazy weirdo soy boy who's jacking off every day. So don't fucking do that. Like, it affects your energy. It really does.
You know what else it is? It's getting past the shit test. Dude, women shit test.
They do
to see what kind of man you are.
Yeah, and you can't react to it.
Nope.
You should, like, nothing. And that's the other thing, goes back to like energy and like taking care of yourself, or like being alpha. Like, if you have your shit together, you're not gonna get shit tested. They're gonna hit you with something, and you're just gonna, you know, it's gonna like bounce off you.
I think
it's gonna be like Goku, like, and Vegeta shoot, like, throwing all that shit at Brawly.
The moment you react to the shit test is when you fail it.
Yeah, you can't react to it.
No.
Just flip it back on them. They hit you with something, you're just like, huh?
I saw one where it's like, this guy opened up the door for his girl. It was their first date, and when he opened the door for her, she kind of like walked in halfway, and he didn't notice. Like, he ran into her and like grabbed her waist so that he wouldn't knock her over. And she was like, "Are you trying to grab my ass?" And he was like, that was a shit test, right? And he said, "No, honey, I'm not trying to grab your ass. If I wanted to grab your ass, I would have done this," and like grabbed her ass. And like, bro, that's
solid.
Shit testing's a part of nature. It's the fitness. It's how women test you, fellas. Okay?
That's a good point, though.
It is.
That's
shit solid. Test is the number one thing that, like,
happens all the time.
Yeah, when you're dating a girl, it's just her perspective is, okay, let me shit test this guy.
Yeah.
Figure out what kind of guy he is.
I wonder if they actually realize they're doing it sometimes. I think sometimes it's automatic.
Yeah, that's the sass, kind of like the, you know, like, typical, because that's the thing, the girls are the selectors.
To an extent.
What do you mean to an extent, bro?
You gotta get to the point where they're coming to you.
Oh no, yeah, but
up until
they're
then,
selecting you though.
That's true.
You want to get to the point where they're selecting you.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys, we can't just go up to any girl and give her the D. That's rape. Girls choose who they want to mate with.
You're nuts, dude.
Why? That's the truth.
That is true. That is.
We
true.
can't. We can have sex with prostitutes if you want instant sex.
Present.
But a girl can literally go up to a guy. A girl can come up to me. I mean, this is just an example. I'm pretty classy. I'm not going to do this. But a girl can come up to me and be like, yo, do you want to have sex? And, oh, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, thanks for the advice, man. Much appreciated. Yo, thanks for tuning in, Corey. Thanks for asking the questions. Make sure you follow my boy. Look at the hookah, by the way. We're Chief and hookah.
Not because you don't want to light more coals, but whatever.
No, we will. All right. But, dude, I mean, looks like that's the only questions we've got, so we can end it here, bro.
For sure. Should we keep the podcast going?
Oh, we're going to keep the podcast going.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Tune in to Channel T, baby.
Thanks for
Bye.
tuning in. Whoopa.
That was beautiful.
And then he went,
Unfortunately,
"Whoopa."
we didn't get as many viewers or viewer engagement, but, you know.
It's all good. Start somewhere. Keep it going from there.
So, dude, where can, like, people find you on the interwebs?
My only public platform right now is Twitter.
Your domain?
Oh, yeah, and then my website. So you can go to Twitter at Amazon FBA Guy. And then my website is asad.space. So my first name, ASAD dot SPACE. You can sign up for the email list. Find out about when I'm doing more webinars. The email list goes over a bunch of stuff. You know, I send out like a weekly newsletter. I'm starting that up again. So Asad.space is my homepage it's kind of my home base. It's going to have everything on there. It's going to have my YouTube channel on there, which is launching next week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're going to do, like, webinar type videos?
Yeah, so I'm going to go, like, details, more detailed, you know, like 15, 20-minute videos specifically on one topic.
That's so beautiful, and it's for free. Like,
Yeah, it's
take
all gonna be for
advantage of
free.
this, guys. This isn't something that
Yeah.
anyone offers. Someone of this caliber is going to offer. He's so nice enough to do this for you. Do it!
Yeah. So I'm going to build that. I'm going to expand that. And then...
He's also going to build Channel T's Shopify.
Yeah, I'll build
website.
Channel T, Shopify. I'll get some money rolling in for you guys. And, yeah, just all the projects I'm working on. I'm going to kind of have a home base for that. I'm going to build a website out for my agency. I'm going to start training some of the homies. They want to learn Amazon. So that'll be cool. And, yeah, I'll probably get my Instagram public in a couple weeks. I'll post that on Twitter so you can find it there.
I want to end it on this note. Can we explain how'd you take Amazon sales up that crazy? Like, that's beyond insane, bro.
Yeah.
Or Ring sales, not Amazon's.
Right.
Ring's Amazon sales.
Yeah.
That's a story. That's what got you started.
That was. So what's funny is I applied for a job at Ring. I applied for a growth analyst role. And at this point, I was desperate for a job because I had like a month before I had to move back to the Bay, and I didn't want to go back home. So I applied for the
Bay Area.
You need the horn there, but whatever. I was just throwing stuff out there, you know, and I was trying to be really impressive. So in my cover letter, I wrote about how I had a store I had my own product on Amazon, how I boosted rank from I was at 250,000. I got myself up to rank 16 for my product, which was like athletic compression sleeves. And the recruiter called me back and she said, hey, you know what? She's like, you're not qualified for this role, but we have one that we're not publicly sourcing for Amazon. If you want to come and interview for that, I was like, yeah, you know, I'll take anything at this point. So I went and I interviewed with 3 different people, and then they offered me the job, so I took it. It was between that and a customer service role at a different company. But it was cool because I'm actually really thankful. I talked to my brother about it, and he was like, look, customer service is customer service. This role looks like something you could actually, you know, grow in. And so I took it. And I was kind of terrified at first because I was like, man, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to whatever. But he said I should take that one. He suggested that, so I did take it. And then when I got there, it was in such, like, I knew Amazon to an extent, but I knew the seller side. They were a vendor to Amazon, so it was a totally different game. To like, you know, for the most part.
That's insane.
Yeah, there was like 60 or 70% different than what I was used to.
Wow.
And I got there, and like it was in such bad shape. Like there was inventory, like $250,000 of inventory had gone missing a month before I got there. Yeah, like Amazon lost it. And so Ring sales were down. Like realistically, I got there in like late August, and up until that point, Ring had done 8 million on Amazon. Between the time that I got there and the end of the year, I had done another 8 million. So I doubled sales in the last 4 months of the year. So it was like I said 16 to 56 million, but it was realistically like 8 to 56 million in a year. But anyway, the thing that I got in really, really deep. I looked at every single aspect of Amazon. I looked at what was happening, what the customers were responding to, what the bad reviews were, what the questions were, what customers were happy with. I had to deal with Amazon one-on-one. Like the $250,000 inventory that got lost, I was like filing police reports, calling like San Bernardino PD, all that kind of stuff, figuring out how to get that paid. I was at the office like the first month or two, probably like the first 2 or 3 months that I worked there. I was at the office like 11, 12 hours a day nonstop. I also hated going home, so I just would stay at work all the time. And in terms of getting it to where it was, so much of it was like cleaning up the account, fixing the relationship with Amazon. Because when you're a vendor, you're talking to them direct. They're buying your product and then reselling it. So I had to fix the relationship. I had to get to know all the buyers, the senior buyers. I knew like 5 levels up of the people that I used to deal with them at Amazon. And so once I polished all of that and cleaned all that up, that helped sales significantly. And Ring was seeing massive growth at the time too. So like as a company, they were growing and just like throwing all this money into whatever. And so what I did was, once everything was cleaned up and in a much better position, I started seeking out other people in the company who knew what they were doing. The CMO at the time was I think he's still the CMO. He worked for the ad agency that did all of Apple's ads when they were about to go bankrupt. So I sat with him and I learned all this stuff from him. So I learned all these different aspects of branding and split testing and all that kind of stuff. And I applied it there. So it was so much like just getting, like, first of all, I was fixing the foundation, which, you know, I could like saying specific stuff wouldn't really help. Like I could think of some stuff, but it was like, I mean, it was so much of that. Like I knew the logistics of everything. I knew when our orders came in.
You worked it from the bottom up.
Yeah, exactly. I knew like I would check in to make sure every single order hit, like once like it left our warehouse to when it got to there, I would reconcile it, make sure it got there. And then I started knocking off third party sellers who had our inventory that had stolen it, or just, you know, someone had signed a stupid deal with them. So all that cleaning up, and then from there it was a matter of like positioning Ring as like the leader in that space. And so much of that came from just customer service and like fixing the reviews, and then talking to Amazon on a regular basis, dealing with them. And then the better that we got, the better the better our account was, the more opportunities Amazon offered us. And then from there it was like me discerning what was the best one. Which ones should I hit? Which ones are going to be good? Which ones are going to help us out? And then also pushing back. There were some things that like, you know, like my one big thing I did was I worked with our lead dev to create a review automation system. So everything that, instead of us like sending emails out like, hey, please write us a review, I was like, look, everybody signs up for an account. We get their email. So what we're going to do is send a notice out a couple days after they get it, send them an email automatically with a little survey. Everyone that's happy, we put them into this bucket. Everyone that's upset, we put them into this bucket. This bucket gets pushed to Amazon. So then I just automated the review process. We started going from like 20, 30 reviews to like 500 or 600 a week. So automation was really important. Building systems is really important.
So you're linking sales with dev with the results you got from reviews.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, like reviews is a major aspect of how you win on Amazon.
Yeah, it earns your placement.
Yeah, that
Definitely.
helps you get up there. There's almost all this like SEO built on the page. Amazon likes you. They know you're going to convert better. And so much of it is like I started coming up with bundles because people were like, okay, well now it's getting to a point where it's like I want 2 doorbells. I want a doorbell and a security camera. So I was like, all right, let's do bundles on Amazon. That's like it was always just this innovation, and a lot of it like it was a collaborative effort. But the thing is, like I was at the forefront of like what was working. What wasn't working.
Because you're putting yourself in the position to see what's going wrong, what's working, what can work, and what will work.
Right, exactly. And then so much like there was a lot of stuff in terms of like how to run promos and how to time it with like the other partners like Best Buy and Costco.
You're just a beast, bro. And this was within 1 year.
Yeah.
Bro, give me the reggae horns for this man.
Sheesh. Hell yeah. So much of it, like, just so much, like, you know, I if I were to sum it up, like, learn everything from the bottom up. I knew everything about I knew everything about Ring. I knew everything about all the products. I knew the differences between the products. Like, I knew so much. I don't remember most of it now, but it's like at the time, probably because I did a lot of drugs too. My memory's fucked up. But at the time, I knew the product in and out. Every new product I knew in and out. I was talking to the devs every day. I was talking to QA every day.
There's no shortcuts.
No, there's no shortcuts. I had to sit my ass down and do the fucking work. I had to be there nonstop. I had to like go toe to toe with the CEO. Like he knew who I was the day that he came back from vacation and I was like he was talking to me on a day-to-day basis, and he's fucking psychotic. Like he is crazy. He's throwing phones at people's heads.
Dude,
and,
you know,
punch walls.
Like 70% of CEOs are like diagnosed sociopaths.
Oh, for sure. They have a god complex. Like when you like people talk about like being like Twitter, everyone's like, I'm gonna be a billionaire. Like the fucking scammer that got us, he was like, I'm gonna be a billionaire, and I was just like, you're not gonna be a fucking billionaire. Well, like at the time, I was like, I don't think you have it in you.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, well, you scam people, so you're really not gonna be a billionaire. But I've worked with two different billionaires. I've worked for a billionaire and I've worked with a billionaire. And that shit's some next level. Like most people don't have it in them to make that. You don't actually understand what that means. That's years of like, you're not taking a fucking vacation. You're going to have to sit your ass down at work. You're going to have to be like ripping your hair out at one point because it's not just like easy breezy. You know, you're going to be thinking like, well, I don't have any fucking money right now. Are you going to give up or are you going to keep pushing? Jamie kept pushing. He got it to where he did. He was a little crazy for sure, but I don't think there isn't a, like, you know, you read stories all the time. Bezos is fucking crazy.
Dude, he cheated on his wife and made her the richest woman in the world.
Just like that. Like, you know,
that's crazy.
That's nuts. She's worth $75 billion now. And he fucked her. But yeah, the idea of like billions, you know, like, I don't even think I'll ever care. I wanted to be a billionaire before. I was like, I don't really give a shit now. Give me $100 million. No one's ever going to hear from me again. I'm going to just be kicking it with fam and homies.
And prostitutes.
No. But yeah, it was so much of like no shortcuts, learning everything about the business, learning how to find the right people to talk to, learning from them, and just kind of keeping it going from there and growing everybody, growing the business. And yeah, just kind of learning what the right way to play the game is, which you don't always know. You kind of have to figure it out, take chances, and then just kind of keep going from there.
Thank you for sharing your story. What more can I say, bro? You're not only a gentleman, you're a scholar. You're an Amazon wizard. You are a great human being. And what you're doing for people is so beautiful, bro. What you've done for me is so beautiful. I'm so happy you decided to be a part of Channel T.
Yeah,
even though it's been like 5 months and I told you you'd be able to come on the podcast. But we finally booked you. Finally came.
Yeah.
You've enlightened us. And people watching this, bro, are literally going to be like, dang, like, what am I doing with my life, bro? You're a remarkable human being.
Dude.
I'm so happy that you took the time to come share your story and give us advice, bro, and even talk about how we're going to build up Channel T on Shopify, bro. That was like a solid 10 minutes of personal advice that I have recorded that I can go back and watch. And the people watching that bit are going to be like, dude, this is like 10 minutes of information that doesn't relate to me. But I can see how he's going to build this man, or what kind of advice he's offering this guy for his podcast. And I'm not even going to start a podcast, but, you know, this is beneficial to me. So I'm going to take this advice into my own aspect and develop it into my own market and make something out of my own online business.
That was like a little freestyle. I didn't know when you were going to stop.
Oh, we could freestyle right now if you want, bro. Do you want to freestyle?
No, you can.
You don't? No, I'm not going to freestyle alone. I never do that.
Oh, I don't.
At least on my podcast, I don't
do that. But no, I mean, I'm happy to. I'm glad you had me on. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people find value.
No, people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
because
fun.
it's Channel T, like, bro.
Yeah. You should get nominated for an Emmy.
I just wanted to say, follow Mr. Asad, dude, on Twitter. That's Amazon @Amazon FBA guy. Yeah. Go to his website, asad.space. Sign up for his webinar. Put yourself on his email list. Stay updated. Look out for his YouTube channel coming up. Look out for his webinars. It's free. This man's teaching you, laying down the knowledge. The knowledge. Yeah. And bro, my platform is your platform. So if you need me to kick someone off a week, you let me know. You know, we can even podcast at your beautiful apartment complex in downtown LA.
Yeah, we got to do that next time.
Get it popping on the sky deck.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Any last words, bro? What's your message to the Earthlings, bro? Or the aliens watching this right now?
Let's keep it simple. No one fucking cares. Work harder.
You heard it here on Channel T. Thank you, Asad, again.
Bro, thank you
I love
so
you,
much.
bro.
I love you.
You are the man. That's Channel T, episode 22. And it's a wrap!
Dope.
Bro, I love you.
Oh.